Like Myth Wukong is only a few days from official release, and there are a ton of ways to customize your character to your playstyle. So let's go through everything you need to know about the skill tree, magic, transformations, gear, and items, as well as run through some examples. Let's start with your skill tree. You can invest the sparks you earn from leveling here. You can upgrade your basic skills, stats, your different staff stances, your transformations, and your spells, which we'll go through in more detail separately. You can reset your spark investment at any shrine without punishment, so don't feel locked in on your choices. Let's look at the spell tabs first. Within the alteration tree, we have the Cloud Step spell, as well as other alteration related spells when you unlock them. In the Cloud Step tree, the first pip to the left, called Gallop, moderately increases your movement speed while in Cloud Step and costs 1 spark. The Immobilize spell can be upgraded too, but it's in the Mysticism tree. The top left pip of the skill tree for 1 spark increases damage dealt to Immobilize enemies for each talent level. So investing further has snowball effects if you take this path down the tree for this spell. The staff stances section will be a lot more intimidating. You can switch between the 3 stances at a press of a button during combat. Here we see the upgrades for the 3 stances, as well as upgrades that affect them all. One of the affect all skills is Exhilaration, which gives you slight health recovery every time you consume a focus point for each spark you invest in, up to 3. So investing multiple sparks will grant a bigger bonus. Just a quick FYI, focus points are what you use to do your heavy attacks, and they build up by doing your light attacks, which all 3 stances have. Focus Attack 2 will increase maximum focus from 1 to 2, Focus Attack 3 from 2 to 3, and Focus Attack 4 will increase your maximum focus from 3 to 4. But if you'll notice, it requires you to have invested a particular amount of sparks before it unlocks. For the case of Focus Attack 4, you need to have invested 20 sparks. In this case, we only have invested 6. The Smash stance, the Pillar stance, and the Thrust stance all have their own feel in combat, but it seems that it's more beneficial to invest in one instead of spreading points between them. The Smash stance's heavy attack is capable of charging while moving around in battle, is highly versatile, and the best choice for engaging in tactical combats, according to the text. However, in practice, I found more people enjoyed the Thrust stance, but it's unlocked at level 20. So the first upgrade for the Smash stance enables sprinting while charging. Later on, I'll show off the Pilgrim set armor that also benefits from sprinting. The Foundation tab is, well, your character's foundational stats. For example, you can upgrade your stamina, which influences how much you can sprint and dodge. This is your vegetables tree. No one wants to invest here because it's boring, but you absolutely should. The last tab is Transformations. This is where you'll upgrade the ones you've unlocked, specifically your major ones, not the minor spirit transformations, which we'll talk about later. Those are upgraded with Will, which is also used to buy your items and upgrade your armor and weapons. There are also talents in this tree that work across all transformations. For example, you have Moon Roam, which moderately increases the damage of your next attack after a perfect dodge for each point invested. The third point takes 2 sparks. So once you, say, unlock the Red Tides transformation, this is where you'll find it in the skill tree. So you have a skill tree to upgrade everything, but how exactly does magic work? Magic uses a unique resource called mana, which more or less only restores when you rest at a shrine and is used for only casting spells. Using it wisely is part of the dance in combat. You unlock many spells, but can only have 4 equipped at one time. These 4 slots also can be used for major transformations. You need to visit a shrine to swap them out. Rock Solid seems to be a journalist's favorite spell alongside Immobilize. Rock Solid has a 15-second cooldown and costs 30 mana. It's a defensive spell that transforms the caster into a rock. If the enemy strikes the rock, they shall be deflected, which grants a perfect chance to counter-attack. Perfect for giving your character a parry if you enjoy that style of gameplay. Immobilize has a longer 50-second cooldown and costs 50 mana, but it's a powerful control spell that binds an enemy in place, even mid-air. This works on bosses, but more powerful foes may break free sooner. It works longer when the opponent is exhausted, staggered, or downed, so yes, you can follow up a rock solid stagger with this for an increased effectiveness. Cloud Step has a 35-second cooldown and costs 30 mana. It's a mobility spell that leaves behind a decoy while allowing for quick dispersion into mist and to escape. It's useful for evading attacks or luring enemies into a trap. Upon returning from the mist state, an Unveiling Strike can be unleashed to catch opponents off guard. You've already seen an upgrade of it in the skill tree. So you'll find different spells during your travels, but you'll also have access to transformations. They're earned mostly by defeating bosses, letting you transform into what you defeated until you use up the might resource you have or lose the second health bar you gain. These don't cost mana like spells do. Instead, they have very lengthy cooldowns. They do, however, share one of the 4 slots with spells. So in this case, the Azure Dust transformation is slotted on the B button, and it's a weird skeleton rock with legs.
What the hell is even that?
And slams down for a stagger effect. Its light attack is Earth Shatter, which makes you strike the enemy 3 times with your head, and its heavy attack is Mountain Splitter, which dashes forward with full force. Fully charge heavy attack to dash further. Red Tides transforms you into a boss we've seen a few times that wields a flaming glaive staff. Its light attack is Moon Dance, which continually slashes at the enemy, building up its focus. Its heavy, Moon Chase, unleashes a series of dash attacks. You can also follow up your dodge with a special heavy attack. You can also equip one Lesser Spirit transformation like you would a piece of gear. You can activate this without equipping it in your limited 4 slots. You instead use right and left trigger together on the controller to activate them, and they usually transform you into the creature that you got your spirit from for an attack, and then you transform back. You use a key bar for these attacks rather than mana. Wandering Right costs a lot of key, but you take its form, bow, and then ram the foe, dealing massive damage. The equipped effect increases your defense by 20 passively. Since this is equipped right now, watch our defense drop when we mouse over the next spirit. Gang Mao lets you take the form of vipers to spit venom upon foes and inflict poison damage. Equipping this spirit gives you moderate poison damage and poison resistance. You can see how builds will come together with the right transformations and gear, which we'll talk about soon. Swift Bat costs a moderate amount of ki and transforms you into a bat, then you stir up gravel to strike oncoming foes. Just having it equipped increases your stamina recovery by 10. Spearbone wards off attacks with a Tiger Shield, then bashes at enemies repeatedly. It then smashes the ground to shake foes within range. You get a 1% damage reduction with this equipped. The Earth Wolf transforms you into the, Earth Wolf to recklessly charge straight at a foe to make them stumble. Equipping it grants a small amount of additional focus on hit. Rat Archer lets you load and fire several arrows in succession, dealing damage multiple times. Equipping it moderately reduces the stamina cost for your staff spin, which reflects arrows. Wolf Assassin transforms you into such for you to throw out knives and hit enemies at a distance. It passively increases your critical hit chance by 3% when equipped, perfect for a crit build. You'll see a ton of spirits before the end of the game, well over 50. Like mentioned, these spirits can be leveled up, making them more potent. Here we see the Earth Wolf being upgraded with 1 knot of voidness and 9,000 will. We can decrease its key cost. So there's a lot of ways to customize your character, but you can also do so with gear and upgrading said gear. Let's take a look. In terms of slots, we have headgear, body gear, arms, and feet. You can equip 1 item in each slot and it'll affect your stats to the right as well as give you certain effects. These all can be upgraded, so if you like a piece of gear, you can keep it around. You can find gear out in the world like Gunyin's prayer beads in the arm slot found in a chest. We're currently in the crafting view, so these items are what you can craft for your chosen one. Let's take a look at Pilgrim's Headband. It's an uncommon item which is only 1 tier above common, so expect a lot of items that give you benefits like this. This one gives you a flat 8 defense and lets you use your gourd while sprinting. This means you can heal and sprint, which is very powerful in a game about avoiding damage and healing back up to survive. If you have 2 parts of the Pilgrim's set, you'll get a moderate increase to sprint speed. If you have all 4, when sprinting, each second moderately increases attack. This effect can stack up to 10 times and ceases once you stop sprinting. So the idea is you sprint, then attack into enemies for big damage. So this obviously combos well with the smash stance and the ability to charge your heavy while sprinting. We also have equipped the Pilgrim's Garb. It has 16 defense and the same set bonuses as the headband. So the Garb trades having a special ability for 8 extra defense. Pilgrim's Wrist Wrap has 6 armor and also provides no special effect, whereas the leg wraps of the set provides a higher 10 defense but no special effect. The Folk Opera leather braces increases defense by 5, but with a set of 4, the will granted from defeating enemies is moderately increased, so this would be a good set to have on early in order to have more will for upgrades and shopping. There are even prayer beads that increase your defense by 10 and have a unique effect to increase your maximum health and mana for a long duration after absorbing lingering will, which is dropped off defeated enemies. You can craft the uncommon serpent scale battle robe with 5 yarn and 1350 will. Like mentioned, will is your currency used for crafting and upgrading, which is different from what you use to get skills in your skill tree. Yarn will drop off enemies, just like most of the crafting resources, but can also be bought from shops. The battle robe offers 2 extra defense and a unique effect. When health is low, you slowly recover a small amount of health. If you're in water, the effect is enhanced. So take a soak once you're sore. If you have 3 of the set, you'll have a far lower stamina cost when in water. It's unclear if the blood pool you fight the target boss in counts as water. You can also upgrade your staff. Now it does say craft, but keep in mind you can only use your staff outside of transformations, which function as your means to use different attacks and weapons. So the Bronze Cloud staff has 36 attack and 2% critical hit chance. The Willow Wood staff doesn't have a critical hit chance and only 30 attack. We switch back to the Wind Bear staff, a rare staff with 50 attack and 4% critical hit, so much better all round. It also has a unique effect that considerably increases the critical hit chance of the Unveiling Strike of Cloud Step, which we've mentioned before. So gear like this really helps round out your builds in a massive way. Don't forget, you can upgrade these staffs to boost their stats and change their appearance. Along with gear, you have a bunch of consumables you can find, buy, and craft. You can upgrade your gourds, which are flasks that store healing liquids. The medicine gourd is your standard, and with a Lucia fragrant vine, you can increase its charges from 5 to 6. Keep in mind, charges are only restored at shrines, so your checkpoints. Then you can fill your gourd with drinks. These include the 3-year-old coconut wine, each sip of which recovers 36% of your maximum health, each upgrade increasing its age and therefore its healing amount. You'll need an awakened wine worm, say that 3 times without stuttering, for that to take effect. Some drinks heal less but come with different buffs or effects. You can add soaks to your drinks, which are temporary additives that do something like this one, moderately increasing damage reduction. Then we have medicines, which you can also craft. This one is the Tiger Subduing Pellets, which on use moderately increases damage for a duration, but is obviously consumed on use. It takes a snakehead mushroom and a purple lingzi to craft. Both can be bought and drop off enemies. Then we have ginseng pellets, which grant focus for a duration slowly. You need licorice and obviously aged ginseng. You can find more consumables like this after bosses that have a more permanent effect, like the Celestial Non-Airy Pill, which massively increases maximum stamina. Like mentioned multiple times, you can visit shops to buy items as well, using the same resources you use to upgrade your gear, will. The Evil Repelling Medicament considerably increases damage reduction for a long duration and costs 270 will, so you can buy 6 of these instead of upgrading your battle robe. You could also get the Body Cooling Power, which instantly removes the burn state and significantly increases burn resistance for a short duration. Anti-Miasma Powder does the same, but for poison. We've seen both fire enemies and poison ones, so yes, the game gives you options to overcome them both, Witcher style. You can also buy crafting materials, so if you're lacking something for an upgrade, you may find them in shops. The Stone Spirit, for example, costs 450 will. The yarn, which we need to upgrade the Serpent Scale Battle Robe, can be bought here too. Aged ginseng, which we needed for the pellets, are here as well, and so are snakehead mushrooms. So that's everything. What do you think after seeing just how customizable your character is? More or less excited? Let me know below. Thanks so much for watching, and for everything RPGs, you're in the right place. Ciao, friends.